I'm Astrologer Penny Dix. Welcome to my in-depth look at this month and this year's summer solstice. Or for those of you watching in the southern hemisphere, this is your winter solstice. And this happens when the sun actually moves into Cancer, which is on the 20th of June. But the kind of solstice energy is when the sun rises on the 21st. And that is how the ancients and the ancient civilizations really revered and respected this powerful, pivotal point in time when the energy of the solstice brought in a kind of sort of a sense of how things can unfold over the next 3 months. So at this point, let's get the chart up from the wonderful Jerry for the summer solstice. So there we go. There it is. And as you'll see, this shows when the sun moves into Cancer on the 20th of June. It goes in late at night universal time at 22 hours and 12 minutes universal time, so that the solstice is really kind of celebrated on the 21st when the sun rises and can be seen in the these wonderful channels that were made hundreds of thousands of years ago in these megalithic temples to shine on the altar, because the ancients really revered, respected and honored the changing of the seasons, because they lived their lives by the cyclical nature of the planet and were much more in tune with it than we are. And one of the lessons I feel of the next 3 months, astrologically and ecologically, is that we all need to get much more in touch with the earth and the planet. I think this is very much about enough is enough. We need to have a little bit more respect for the earth, our planet that is home. Because if you think about it, Cancer, where the sun has moved into and is conjunct both Venus and Mercury. Now, Venus, of course, is about relationship. It's about accruement. It's also about self-worth and the value we have for home. Well, the planet is our home. So let's look at this on a rather bigger scale and not just the, our own little home area, but actually the planet as our home. And the collective needs to have, as we all know, much more respect for how we treat the planet. And if you look at this chart, Capricorn is on the ascendant. And remember, for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere, it is just that the house placements will change, not the actual astrological aspects. So you might want to put a chart up that will show you what you can expect in the Southern Hemisphere from the house placements of the summer solstice, which I use as the sun moving into Cancer. So basically, Capricorn on the ascendant is about government. It's about institutions. It's about structure. And everything with Pluto's kind of beginning with its retrograde to get back to moving into 0 degrees of Aquarius before it moves back into Capricorn to fully tidy up what it started over the last 15 years. We are going to see it in the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom is having its election on July the 4th. And for sure, the current government will not be in charge. So there are huge changes afoot. And I think not only that, but there will be shocks and twists and turns that are completely unpredictable. I want to bring your attention to a fixed star called Algol. You may or may not have heard other astrologers talk about this fixed star. Now, it's conjunct Uranus in Taurus. Uranus, as you know, is the planet of sudden change, can be eruptions, earthquakes, dramatic change and shocks. It's electricity, it's the internet, it's anything that also takes our frequency up to a higher vibration. Now, the point with Uranus is that it's conjunct this star Algol. Now, let me tell you what Algol represents, because this is really quite interesting. Algol was or is seen as the planet of destruction. In mythology, it's represented by Medusa. Now, this was the serpent-headed goddess who had her head cut off, and a look from her could turn anything and everything to stone, even after her head was cut off. So it was still had that potency. This is a very interesting piece of metaphor and symbolism. What or who is going to fall from grace? And this can be taken anywhere in the world. So don't just see it that I'm talking about the United Kingdom. What or who may fall from grace in the next 3 months that we think is not going to affect us anymore, but it's no good just hiding this Gorgon's head in a cupboard and hoping it won't come back, locking it and throwing it away the key. It has to be dealt with. It has to be dealt with. I'm going to come to that more when I talk about the full moon in Capricorn in the next short video I do. For now, I'm going to stay, so that's a little spoiler alert, but for now I'm going to stay with the astrological aspects of this this summer solstice. So the summer solstice on the 20th of June, but the sunrise is on the 21st. The sun, remember, is the heart and soul, the beating heart of our solar system. And we go round, we orbit the sun. But astrology and tropical Western astrology, we view the planets in the sky and the sun as if we were on planet Earth being the central part or the center of our solar system. But this is just because we are on this planet, we are on this Earth, and it's how we view the movement of the cosmic bodies, just to explain a little bit about the kind of science side of astrology and astronomy. So if you know anything about pagan astrology, pagan stories and pagan ways, paganism very much followed the cyclical passage of how the seasons unfold. So pagan people stayed in step with the seasons and the rise and the fall of the energies of birth, life, and death. Now, this is actually really important for the next 3 months, because Neptune in Pisces at the anorectic degree, squaring the Sun, Venus, and Mercury at this point in time, is talking about the potential for the confusion over the next 3 months on planet Earth about what direction we're going in, where we're going, what we're going to do, because there's something about the energy of the loss and the difficulties experienced from powerful leaders falling from grace that we've relied on, and having to deal with unknown quantities in the new that come in to try and clear up the mess of what they see the old boys kind of school creating. So what else have we got going on with this summer solstice? When I was looking at it, I was thinking that it's very much a time, 3 months, when we have to be the observer. And we have to recognize and keep in mind the duality of life. The rise, the fall, the rise, the fall, the rise again. We cannot avoid the rise and the fall and the cyclical pattern of life. With this energy and with this video, take from it what sits with you. Are you in a downward spiral where you feel all is lost? Are you able to turn that round and see it as a time of rebirth and renewal with this summer solstice? Because even though we have Neptune squaring the Sun and Venus and Mercury, remember, Venus, remember, is about relating, relationship, value, self-worth. This is about the value of our home. Well, the home is our planet. Mercury is about communication and thinking and thought. Maybe we all need to be giving some thought to how we can get our way or find our way through the confusion that Neptune presents at this anorectic degree of Pisces, where it's going to hover for the next 2 years with various planets making various aspects to it, bringing us all the time back to its energy. Neptune is a key player over the next 2 years. And as I said, we cannot avoid the rise and the fall. There's a wonderful pagan chant that I learned when I was doing something called circle work. I did a series of workshops when I was in my 30s with a white witch, which was absolutely fascinating. I learned so much about paganism, and it's not a path I would choose to follow and embrace totally, because I see myself as a spiritual being and I embrace my spiritual path, which encompasses a lot of traditions from a lot of different ways of thought. And I think the way I move into spirituality is very much what the planet is being encouraged to do by all the astrological energies, about cutting our ties with the past, but at the same time going back to the beginning. And this pagan chant is about we all come from the goddess, and to her we shall return, like a drop of rain flowing to the ocean. Hoof and horn, all that dies shall be reborn. Corn and grain, all that falls shall rise again. You can actually find people singing this on YouTube, and I didn't want to sing it because I was concerned about copyright, because I actually don't know where I would find if there is copyright on it. So if there is anyone watching and it is accredited to them, then I hope that my point of just saying I credit it to the person that wrote it, who maybe many years ago, I don't know where it came from. It may be that it has been passed down through generation to generation and is in the public domain. If anyone out there can find out for me, I would love to know, because I would love to be able to sing it to you, because it is quite beautiful. And it's chants like this that can ground us when all at sea Neptune seems lost. And with Uranus conjunct Algol, the Medusa's head, the look that can turn anything to stone, I think over the next 3 months, we're going to be seeing the loss of a lot of energies which we have come to rely on. And in a sense, given the responsibility to these institutions, people, governments, Capricorn ascendant, and not thought for ourselves. Mercury conjunct Venus in Cancer. We are moving into a time where we need to be focusing on smaller communities and thinking for ourselves. Being our own leader, leading ourselves, not asking for permission. It's as if we have been conditioned, brainwashed by society in its current form to not think for ourselves. And with the internet and social media, and now Pluto in Aquarius, AI coming in a big, strong way, and that's going to get stronger and stronger. We won't even have to think for ourselves. This is not good, because if we lose the ability to think for ourselves, well, at some point, kids, as I was talking about in last week's live, will stop using their imaginations. They'll be so used to being connected and plugged into some kind of AI device doing it for them, that it will be easy for us to become automated human doings rather than spiritual human beings. And I think this energy is going to be much more evident over the next 3 months. Let's just have a look at some of the other energies in this chart, because we've also got Mars, remember, in Taurus. Mars in Taurus squaring Pluto in Aquarius, of course, was causing us all those problems last week, where on Friday when I tried to do these videos, I couldn't even get my tongue to work properly. It was just coming out with all sorts of things. It was not in gear with my brain, and all manner of things were coming out. I'm not quite out of the woods yet. I'm still kind of not managing to connect my thoughts with my words, if that makes sense. So if you felt like that recently, it's okay. You're not alone. Be quiet, be still, be patient. It will pass. As I'm recording this, the moon is in Libra. So it's much more balanced, much kind of gentler energy. And Mars in Taurus is sextiling the Sun, Venus, and Mercury in Cancer. So this sextile is a helpful energy to get us moving a bit. It'll be slow because Mars is in Taurus. But this is a little bit like the Taurus bull looking at its options in the field it's in Taurus. Maybe this Taurus bull is thinking, perhaps I will get a better perspective of things if I move to a different area of the field I'm in. Think about that. Perhaps if I move, I'll get a better perspective of the field I'm in. It's an interesting thought, isn't it? Because if we keep doing the same thing, we keep getting what we've always got. It's quite a well-known saying. If you keep doing what you're doing, you'll always get what you've always got. I think this solstice is giving us an opportunity to break some habits, but it's also asking us to slow down. We've still widely got Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. Remember, Pluto, our planet of transformation, transition, death, birth, trining, which is helpful, which is kind. Jupiter in Gemini, Jupiter, our planet of spirituality. You know, Jupiter is a very highly spiritually connected cosmic body. It also enlarges our ability to sense other worlds and other beings. And that trine is still in play, even though Jupiter is 4 degrees, nearly 5 degrees moved further on in Gemini. Now I want to come to Sedna, because I think Sedna is also very interesting in this chart, because Sedna, you remember in Gemini, Sedna is the sea goddess whose father threw her out of the canoe because they were in a storm. And always take the metaphor of these things. What do we have to let go of when we're in a storm? The masculine casts the feminine, divine, out into the sea, cuts all her fingers off, cuts all her arms off. Now Sedna sinks into the ocean, Neptune, and transforms Pluto. Pluto trining Sedna. Pluto is coming up to an exact trine with Sedna, and that's going to be around for a little while, a few weeks. I think we are going to find it much easier to be in touch with the depths of our own inner oceans, to be in touch with the higher frequencies and our spiritual connections with them. We've also got to look at the moon today, because the moon is also very important, and it's in Sagittarius, which of course Jupiter rules, and it's squared by Saturn in Pisces. Remember, this is a point in time, so it's setting a tone. So the moon in Sagittarius in the 11th house, which also underlines the fact in the Northern Hemisphere that this is about government and groups of people. It's about the collective, and it's imploring them to think or to connect with higher energies and to get out of their own way and stop getting caught in this kind of ego-centered position that they occupy. With this Capricorn ascendant, as I said, it's very much about government. We're going to see lots of changes in government over the next 3 months. We're going to begin to see the breaking down of the old order. Now let's bring this into your own individual lives and how this might play out. I think this is a time, there's a wonderful Chinese oracle system, which I'm sure a lot of you know about and have heard of, called the I Ching. And it was, I suppose, channeled and written by the great Chinese thinker and philosopher Lao Tzu. And you build up a series of hexagrams with sticks. You throw them, or you throw coins, and you get 2 + 2 + 1, or 3 + 3 + 3. You get these yin and yang lines, and you gradually build up a hexagram, which each has its own interpretation. There's 80 something, I can't remember. And for me, the hexagram for this summer solstice would be to use the kind of language used in the I Ching. It is not the right time to go to the mountain. This is a time of staying still. This is a time for inner reflection. It does not further one to go towards the mountain. So if you are finding it difficult to move forward, it's because you're not supposed to be moving forward. So maybe in the Northern Hemisphere, this is about, because it's summer, taking time out, literally taking time out to enjoy the summer. Slow down. There is so much conflicting energy that I really feel it's important for us to slow down and take time out. And the moon in Pisces, slowing down to go retrograde on the 29th of June, squaring this moon, the moon, home, so it rules Cancer, but it's in Sagittarius. So it's kind of like imploring us to be still, to use our intuition, to metaphorically stay at home and attend to things at home, to attend to the planting and the sowing of the seeds for the next season, to reap the harvest of the past season. It is not the time to move and start new things. That's my feeling. And I want to talk also about Chiron, because Chiron, who, as you know, is our wounded healer in Aries, is coming up to, well, there's going to be a conjunction with Eris, which is going to last for many, many months. And that is something I'm going to come to later on. But Chiron in Aries is trining the moon in Sagittarius. So this next 3 months is a time of healing. And not just healing of the body, healing of the soul, of the mind. It really feels like we need to slow down as a collective. And Chiron conjunct Eris is saying it's time to stop the fighting, wherever that is, whether it's in the home, whether it's in yourself, whether it's in the conflict zones of the planet. It's time to stop. What does this achieve? It achieves nothing. It is not the way to move forward, as it would say in the I Ching. This is a time for standing still and for taking stock. Yes, move to a different part of the field. Do the Mars bull in Taurus and move to a different part of the field and look at a different view. Because then we can start to see things differently and more clearly. And that is what I feel the important energies are for the next 3 months. I hope this has made sense. I've probably talked longer than I intended, but I always do. And I'm going to record the moon in Capricorn now, and then later tonight, which you can go back and look at, because this will appear on your channel after I've done the live tonight, there will be the live. And that'll be for the week ahead. And of course, it will include also some more insights into the summer solstice and also into the full moon in Capricorn. But for now, let's get Jerry to remove the chart. There we go. And it disappears. Love doing that. Magic. Remember, move to a different place. If you don't like where you are, move. But it doesn't further one to move to the mountain. That is not time. Maybe move along and look and see if there's a different way up your particular mountain. Don't get fixed on there's my way and only this way. Find a different way. Okay, that's all I'm going to say for today. Thank you so much for joining me for this summer solstice. And please remember to do all those wonderful things like, comment, subscribe. That really helps with the algorithms, and it helps get it on your homepage, especially if you do lots of likes and comments. And remember, my blogs are up on my website, pennydix.com. If you want notifications of when they appear on the website, then please go to the homepage of my website, pennydix.com, and drop your email in the box at the bottom says subscribe here. And I would love to hear from all of you. Remember, apart from the clients that are already booked in, and anyone who wants an emergency session who can email me privately, I'm not going to see clients now till September, because I'm going to follow the astrology and move to a different part of the field and look at things in a different way. So that's all I've got to say. So thank you very much, and bye for now. And I look forward to seeing you all again soon.